look at this. Look at the battling, and it is a safety car. Here comes Mika into slow corner. Whoa! Almost! And away we go here in the Netherlands for F1 down towards the next couple. Oh, it is! Oh my god! Whoa! Bit of a season as Nano wins in Monza for FRLT Tier 1 on 4 and right beneath! Oh, here he goes! Nano who wins in Jeddah! Hello, and welcome to FRLT Season 5, and it is time for assists once again. Yes, we are here for assists, and it is time for none other than round number 4 in the season as we come to Zandvoort. 4.259 kilometers, 2.646 miles, 14 turns, 2 DRS zones, down the pit straight and down that back straight between turn 10 and turn 11. Slightly a curved straight, I should really say. Looking at the calendar, we've gone through Monza, Mexico and Brazil. This week we come to Netherlands. High speed, much like Brazil. A lot of similar corners to some of the previous tracks, but much harder. Then we're going to be having a break week next week before we come to a mystery race, the first mystery race of the season at the end of the month. August is full of racing as we go to Hungary, Imola, Great Britain, and then a mystery race to end off the lovely month of August. Then we have a break week. Before then we go to Japan, Belgium, Saudi Arabia, and on the 1st of October we'll be going to none other than, yes, Kota. I believe everybody's in now, and we should be able to get going. I think everyone's in, if I'm correct. Everybody should be in. And so, we'll be getting going very shortly. So, looking at the standings though, it's a much more interesting thing to look at. It's actually the standings. Because, as you can see, SEC leads the championship now by an incredible 24 points in the championship. Just a point out, 24 points. They scored a brilliant 28 points last race, just in the race, which was a massive championship push for them. That's why they get a 9 out of 10. P1, P5 finished. EVR, close behind, but only one drive finished in the points. Still brings them up to second in the Constructors. PR as well move ahead of SKG by just 1 point in the Constructors to third. UFRT suffered a double disqualification for starting a safety car, which means they lose. They not only lose the 2 points, they also had a 20-point deduction, which moves them down to 9th of the Constructors. ART had a great race and moved up from last to 7th in the Constructors within just one race. And LR took a solid 2 points. Also a good finish from AZR, pulling themselves up to 5th in the standings, along with PR as well. Two new teams on the podium, of course, being AZR and PR. And finally, I can say we are into qualifying. And off we go to the Netherlands for the first time this season as well. First time in Season 5, we go off to the Netherlands, which is, it's exciting. I've got to say, it's exciting to come to a different track. Very different track from some of the previous ones. A couple of high-speed corners, a couple of slower sections on the track. Of course, there's a section right at the start of Sector 3. Here, the carousel corner, slow, that's the sort of low speed corners. The medium speed corners sort of reach around sort of turn 2, turn 3, higher speed, sort of through the downhill corners, through some kinks on the track as well. But as you can see, we're here now for those. As you can see, sort of Sector 2, very twisty, quite high speed though. There's only really, I'd say, there is no low speed corner. In Sector 1 has, realistically, I'd say, maybe, I don't think Sector 1 has a low speed corner. I think Turn 1 is quite sort of medium speed. I'd say Turn 1's the slowest corner. I think Turn 1, Turn 2's almost flat out, and then Turn 3, of course, hard on braking, but it's actually quite quick because of the banking. Then it's sort of then it's just flat out for the rest of it. Sector 2 doesn't really have any slow corners again. The first, second corner, just high speed, pretty much flat out. The third corner, though, that tight right-hander does slow down quite a bit, but it's still medium speed, and same with the next corner after that. It's only really Sector 3 where you see the right and then the carousel left, which heads round is really the only part of the track that's actually low speed. And we've got a car coming out onto the track. That is a UFRT car. They need a big evening, and it is Kimi that comes out onto the track. Really needing a big evening, of course. A 20-point deduction. Officially, that was 22 points after last race. So, realistically, they have lost 22 points. A 20-point deduction and getting disqualified also lost them 2 points. So they've really struggled to get back together, of course. You know, they've got to push back with their championship again going into this race. Kimi, the duo of Kimi and Nilo are in. Both already out onto the track. I think we've just gotten our 5th driver onto the track now. You can see a lot of them actually already into Sector 2. Already 4 drivers in Sector 2. Kimi really pushing on his outlap, I've got to say. But UFRT needed a really big comeback, of course. Last week, I think, for them, championship-wise, was frustrations. Really, you know, it's pretty much, I'm afraid to say, there's pretty much a 95% possibility that it has killed their championship charge. Let's run on board with Kimi as he starts off qualifying here down towards Turn 1. He crosses the line, and into Turn 1, as you can see, already banked for this first corner. Not as heavily as Turn 3 or some of the other corners, but so far, pretty smooth. Very smooth. Great grip from the Mercedes into Turn 2. Whoa! And a massive loss on the rear. You can see the game ghosting him, thinking he's crashed. Turn 3 went okay. Of course, going a bit too deep and a bit too wide. Up through the right, left, and then another right before you end off Sector 1. 24.356 time set. Through the long right-hander. Pretty clean. Now into a faster right-hander. Oh, he touched the grass a bit, I think, there. That's lost him a bit of time. Again, triple right-hander. It's quite severe. Then into this long left-hander, really putting the pressure, really upping the temperatures in the tyres, really pushing the tyres a bit too far, I'd say. But now, to end off Sector 2, into Sector 3, hard right. Oh, he's not done that well, losing the rear, and again onto the gravel, to the carousel left. Not working well. Now into just a nice 90-degree right-hander. It's quite round, don't touch the curb. Pretty nice. On exit, though, through the long right-hander, heavily banked right-hander. Kimi makes it look okay, but it's not going to be the best of lap times. It's a 1 minute 10.050, and I think he knows that's not going to be a quick time here tonight. I think he very much knows that. He knows that it's not going to be too quick. Immediately beaten by Tathan, 1 minute 9.360, massively beaten. Nilo goes into a 1 minute 8.947. Very strong from himself. Incredibly strong from himself, I've got to say. We're waiting for the next driver to cross the line. I'm not sure who it is that's crossing the line next, because we've got quite a few drivers coming across the line. That was Switch. 1 minute 9.4 from himself. LK goes into P2. He's on the medium tyres, though. We've got to chat about that. He's on medium tyres, only 2 tenths away, 2.5 tenths away from provisional pole. As there goes Smoked, he goes into P2. 1 minute 9.1 as well. Not too bad. I think we saw Frozen. He didn't set a great lap time on a soft 1 minute 12, but that was a slow run. Hugo goes into P3 now. 1 minute 9.1. 3 drivers all within Wow, all within 42 thousandths of each other. Hello, Isaiahs. Welcome to the stream, mate. It's great to see you once again, but that is incredible. 3 drivers, the same 10th. Chris, oh my god, Chrissy goes into P2, and that is a 1 minute 9.009. Just making those times a little bit faster here tonight. Very much just that little bit faster. I think we just saw LaFleur going P9. Look at that Vapor! Fastest of all, 1 minute 8.574. Absolutely stealing the show. Vapor on pace. AERT were pushing for the victory last week, I do believe. And they're pushing once again this week. Frozen goes P2 as well to a 1 minute 8.754. So he's just under 2 tenths behind. 0.180 tenths behind at the moment. So he's very, very close. Incredibly close in lap times at the moment. Waiting to see who else is going to put themselves up on the leaderboard. I think we've got a Ferrari going around. That's Batiste that's making his way around. Let's see how he's doing on his lap. He's looking like he's on for a pretty decent lap time. Running up to the line. It's not going to be fastest. Where's he going to go? He's going to go P4 though. 1 minute 8.994. Slotting in very nicely. But it's looking incredibly close. Here. Guapo for ABE. P5. 1 minute 9.0045 thousandths. Ahead of Cries. What the hell? That man has put in a lap time just so close. But look at this. Top 4, well, top 3 spread out. So the top 2 spread out by quite a bit. But then third, 1 minute 8.947. Then 994. Then a .004. Then .009. Absolutely crazy stuff we're seeing here tonight. Absolutely. On something else. The mood in I cannot even speak. I'm just gonna call him Mub. I'm just gonna call him Mub because it's funny. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mub into Move into Mub into P7. Into P7 he went, and a very strong lap time from himself. You see already Nilo out on another outlap. Surprising to see so early. Yanni Casares is making his way around. Good middle sector. He looks very strong in the middle sector. That Aston Martin last week was having some struggles here and there on the grid. Definitely a lot of struggles coming from the Aston Martin. But let's see what he can do. Up to the line and across the line. He goes P2. He's close, but he's still a little bit further away. He's just a little bit further away at the moment. His teammate is in P19. Balaz, can Balaz do the same? Or can he do better? He can do better than his teammate. 3 thousandths of a second behind Vapor. Into P2 he goes. I've got to say, that is one hell of a tremendous lap from the SKG duo. 2 incredible laps there. P2 and P3 SKG pushing for the championship again. And pushing maybe for second in the constructors out of this race. SCT not looking too great. P4 and P11 for the moment. Not looking in the best of places. I must say, not looking in the best of places for SCT, especially as championship leaders. You know, you don't want the 4th race to be your letdown before a break week. But we'll have to see. SCT have been incredibly strong. In 3 races, they've gotten 2 victories, and their incredible 28 points scored last week really put them in command of the championship. Switch is not improving. He's going to come in. He knows he's done with his lap. That's Balaz going slowly on his lap. We've got Cormac Hudson making his way around for EVR. What can he do when he comes across the line? He can go fastest! 1 minute 8.556. The thousands are really counting here tonight. They're really, really counting towards something. LK goes into an 8.644. Holy, it's getting a bit toasty now, I must say. It's getting very toasty here tonight. Tathan's the next one to come across the line. He's improved by a 10th. That's not going to be enough, I don't believe, to really find himself anywhere. He was too slow anyway. Didn't finish a full lap. Trying to find Crows. He's there. That's not LK. That's LaFleur. I'm trying to find a driver who isn't on an outlap at the moment. Mub on lap. Mub's making his way around. He's starting off his lap. That's Cormac, actually, who's coming back in. Then we got LK, who's also on his way in as well. That's not Hugo. That's Batiste, who's on a lap at the moment. Let's see how he's going to do when he crosses the line. Can we see an improvement from him? Yes, we can. A 10th and a half, and up to P7 he goes. And a good enough improvement there for himself. Very, very good to see. Zanliti coming across the line. He can only go P16. That's not where he really wants to be. Smoked is there. Here comes Brown across the line. He can go P8. Half a second found. And a very good half a second. That's Frozen, who's only been able to go up to P6. That was Kreis, who just went P7. I'm waiting for a lot of drivers to change positions. I'm not seeing anybody at the top of the leaderboard at the moment changing too much. I've not seen anybody at the top of the leaderboard change. Interesting. Not a lot of changes at the top of the leaderboard. Much more lower down in the order. Mub improved, but I've got to say it's not looking too good for some drivers. Ty's really struggling down in P14. Not what his team will be looking for. Whoa, and that's Tathan round. I just saw as his rear just started to go. Whoa. Bit close there. As Smoked goes up to P9. He found 3/10 in his lap, by the way. Frozen goes P4. He finds a little bit more time. He finds another 10th and a half. What can Vapor do? Vapor's up by very, very small amount. No, he can find 95 thousandths to a 1:08.479. That's now the time to beat. That is now the time to beat. Yanni could go to a 5.33. But the gap is still a bit larger. I think we saw Guapo go into P8. P8 from Guapo. Very, very good lap there. 1:08.8. You know, 4/10 is what's dividing 8th to pole. So it's looking incredibly close. I think that's Kimi who's on lap. He was the first driver who set lap as well in this session. I think we've got LK who's on an out lap. Nilo is next. Nilo's not improving, I don't believe. He didn't improve on his lap, and that's a bit of disappointment for himself. Balaz! Fastest of all, 1:08.427. What a lap. What a lap from this man. He finds even more time, a 10th and a half in his lap. Almost 2/10 of a second he found in his lap. And that is exactly what he needed. Yanni's coming around. Is Yanni on another fast lap? No, he's not. He's deciding to come in. So is Wapo. Wapo is also coming in. I think we've got Kimi, who is on a lap. He really needs a big improvement here. P12 and P20 at the moment. UFRT not getting their way this season in qualifying performances. They've, since Dek and Pesci haven't been racing as much. Pesci, you know, across the line, 7/10, only finds him up to P16. Still not in it at all. LK, P2, 1:08.477, just slotting in. Just slotting into that position. Whoa. Very close. First driver out on track for their final runs, though, I believe, is Cormac Hutton. He's come out rather early. Both SCT drivers also on their way out, so there's only by the end of this, there's only going to be just 3 drivers by the end of this lap that are going to be out on track. That's turning into a 4th, actually. So there goes another one. That's going to be one of the VMV drivers. We'll see who that is. That's Zenliti, who's coming out. Also, his teammate Tathan on his way out as well. So we're actually going to already have 5 drivers on their outlaps for their final runs. But again, of course, this lap is quite a bit longer. It takes till about 1 minute 20, 1 minute 25 to get round. So it takes a bit longer. So maybe going earlier might be better. And also for Cormac, not much traffic either. I think he has pretty much, I think he's timed it very well, that he's not going to experience much traffic. Only 2 more cars coming out onto the track, AERT and an SKG. But let's ride on board with Cormac on his lap. Let's see how he can do as he makes his way round into turn 1. Looking strong. A little bit of sliding. Oh, and onto the gravel. Not what you want. I think he slowed down on his lap. Yeah, he's slowed down. He's not pushing now. He might have enough fuel for another run. Yeah, he's not pushing. And that is his lap over and done. Frozen is the next to start off a lap. He needs to get this lap together. He's won twice so far this season. Can he make that a 3rd win in 4 races? He's up by 21 thousandths. That's not going to gain him any positions. First sector, always difficult to find time in. Can he find time in this middle sector? Usually the middle sector is even harder to find time in. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't find lots of time in his lap. It's very difficult round such a short track. I think that's Cormac Hutton. No, it's not. It's one of the SKG drivers. He's up by 55 thousandths. That's just about enough to bring himself up to P5. He's run off into the gravel a bit there. That's not going to help him in lap time. I don't think that's a bit of a cheat code to get quicker. I think that's very much not what you want. Oh! And I think he's going to have to take it. And that's going to be the end of Frozen's qualifying session. And that is that for himself. And that is incredibly disappointing. Ty can only go into P11. That's not where he wants to be. Oh, that's very frustrating for himself. I think we got Smoked, who's making his way around. Got Tathan. Then we've got Zenliti across the line. He's not improving. I'm trying to find somebody else who is on a lap. That's Kimi that's starting a lap. There is a Red Bull coming round. That is LK, who is starting off his run. Look at that. Yanni has just improved, I think, to P4. Very strong. Yeah, he's improved to P4, so not a bad run. Cormac goes fast of all. 1 minute 8.384 is the new time to beat. Vapor's invalidated! And that is him done for his session. Hugo goes P9. Incredible lap from himself. Balaz can't improve enough. He stays in P2. That is his session over and done with. He can't improve anymore. He's not been able to find the lap time. Look at that. Batiste, P7 on his lap. P7 from himself. Incredible lap there. I think we got Nilo up to the line next. He goes P9. And a lap there that's also quite commendable, I must say. Who's coming across the line next? It's Kimi. Kimi across the line. He doesn't improve. I think that's almost the end of qualifying. LK goes P2. Yanni Casares. He's not improving on his lap. Krais isn't improving either. And that is that. And it is Cormac Hutton on pole position. EVR take their first pole of the season. And what a pole it is. Very close, but it is EVR, LR, and SKG out front. AERT, 4 different teams in the top 4. Very interesting, and not the qualifying that SCT would have wanted either. I think P8 and P12, I think, at the end of that. Not where SCT want to be at all in their championship bid. But let's have a look Cormac Hutton is on pole, followed by LK in second, Blaz in third, Vapor in fourth, Yannick Casares in fifth, Chris in sixth, Batiste in seventh, Frozen is down in eighth, with Nilo in ninth, Wapo in 10th, Hugo in 11th, Smoked in 12th, Tyler in 13th, Mub in 14th, Bran in 15th, Tathan in 16th, Switch in 17th, Kimmy in 18th, Zenliti in 19th, and LaFloa in 20th. But that's just not what you want as a team. That's specifically for SET I'm talking about here. Just nowhere close. That's just nowhere close for a team. You know, it's not where you want to be. I think, especially with EVR second in the championship, taking pole, and actually, I think they had both cars in front there. And it is raining quite heavily as well. I think we might be having full wet tyres for the race or intermediate. So it's wet conditions again this week. Lots of wet races we're having this season. I think we've had more wet races this season than we had in the previous two combined. Because from my recollection, we've only had 3 wet races in the past 2 seasons, so in the past 20 races in assists. And in the past, 18 races in fours, I think we've only had 3 wet races in that. So we've only had sort of 5, 6 wet races in the last, 39 races. But, yeah, I have to say, it's going to be interesting, the wet conditions, but very much, it's not good for SET. 8th and 12th, or 13th, I think it was 8th and 12th, not where you want to be. I don't think Tyler's going to make it into the top 10 unless he has just an absolute change in pace. He's going to struggle to get into that top 10. And I think he's still in contention, but it is going to be a struggle, and I think for Frozen here, he's starting the furthest back he started all season. So do I think the win is on? I don't think he has the pace. I think we saw throughout the whole of qualifying, he was not there. But with these conditions, maybe it was set up. Who knows? I definitely think that SCT might be stuck in a bit of a problem now. Because where they currently finish, they'll gain 3 points. EVR, 1st and 6th, by the way. So, they're going to take 25 points. Or 26 with pole. 26 points at the moment from where they sit. SKG are going to take, I think 3rd and 5th, which is 23 points. So at the moment, SCT are on to lose a lot. And I think this week might be the first week where we actually see SCT is not entirely there. All 3 races this season, they've been there battling for the win. But I think going into this race, I think it's going to be very, very... I think it looks completely different going into this race. I don't think it's at all similar here tonight, because the grid seems to be very mixed and very much changed. I think the bottom half of the grid, PR seems to not be there in performance. They're not inside of the top 10 tonight. I can hear the beeping as we're about to go for round number 4 of assists. Let's have a look. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go here in the Netherlands for FRLT Season 5 of assists. And it is round number 4 in the Netherlands. And into turn 1, Cormac Hutton takes the lead. Bit of competition. Oh, well, that's the AERTs that come together. Teammates collide on the first lap. Lots of carnage happening further back. You can see Cormac Hutton, though, has led away on those intermediates. He's chosen the intermediates. He thinks those are best. Wapo is round, and that's not the best of starts for him. Frozen still in P8, even after the AERT teammates have had a bit of a clash into turn 1. So it's not looking too great there. Kimmy battling He's dropping down the order. He's made a bit of a mistake. He's down to 19th and he's going really wide. He's really struggling out there in the wet conditions. But you can see here, Balaz trying to eye up a move on the man of LK for second place. Hugo, by the way, battling with Tathan over P10, over that 1 point position. And it is looking very, very close. Ferrari versus Haas. Who's going to come out on top here? Yannick Casares now gets past his teammate. And I think that was just pure team orders. Into the right hand. Oh, Hugo almost lost it there. Oh, he got my heart skipping a beat for a second. Just purely because of how worrying that was. As he slid into the corner. Because look at that. Cormac Hutton already almost breaking away by an entire second in this race. And that is 1 second ahead already. Off of lap 1. By the end of this race, he'll have 36 laps. 36 seconds, ahead in 36 laps. But I have to see, a bit of mistake into turn 1. Went a little bit deep. So we'll have to see whether Cormac Hudson can hold on to this lead or not. Not a good start from Yannick Casares. He's clearly not showing that he's faster than his teammate. He's struggling to keep up, actually. He's almost a second behind. So not looking too good there. Tyler now makes his way past Zenlity for P12. Looking pretty interesting there. Looking very interesting there. Very good move. By the way, we've got to talk about Baptiste here. Up to P5 in this race. Really pushing AZR in the championship. He's really been pushing them all season. On for another 10 points. Maybe. Just maybe. The championship chances might be there. But Frozen. We've got to talk about SET and Frozen. They've not... You know, and SET as a whole, they've not worked this at all. It's set to be wet for the entire race, so intermediates throughout the entire race. But this strategy has not worked. But look at this further back. Hugo battling once again with Tathan over P10 in this race. But Tathan makes the move past. A pretty solid move past as well. But look at that. Tyler drops down to P13. He loses out to Zenlity again. He seems to be struggling a little bit there. Look at that. The understeer. Just hitting the McLaren really harshly. We're seeing that down as well for Frozen. He seems to be struggling. He's actually got Nilo for company as well. Who's closing up quite close behind. So we might be seeing Frozen lose out his position here as well. But look at this. Into turn 1. It looks like Tyler's gone a bit deep and had a bit of contact with a few others. That's not worked because he's also dropped behind, smoked in all of this. Switch. Oh, and a massive tap on the rear from Switch. PR not getting away this week with anything. P14 and P17 from the podium. Down outside of the points, not going well. Kreis now into P6. Weber has disconnected, so we're going to have to see if we can invite Vapor back. If he's online at all, the possibility of him being online. Let's send him that lovely game invite to get him back in, because he's dropped down to P9. It's just not worked at all. Frozen up to P7 now in this race. Working a little bit better for himself. See, the grid's starting to split apart. The top 4 now walking away with this. SKG definitely looks like they're going to be coming out on top this weekend. This week. Not weekend, but this week. With points. As it stands, they're on to take 24 points this evening. So very much SKG looking like they're on for a very strong race. Everybody's setting the fast lap. Yannick Casares with the fast lap. Kreis now with the fastest lap in this. Still not connected back in is the man of Vapor. He's dropping down the order. Both VMVs into the top 10 now. They haven't been inside of the top 10. Last race was a really rough one for them. Kreis making his way around. Not going too badly for himself. But we've got to talk about Cormac. So far, he's not really been stretching out his lead at all. Very much staying roughly about the same distance, about 6/10 is roughly where he's been staying. Not really changing too much. Leading this race, though, 3 laps led. EVR's chance to get another win. EVR's chance to win. For a second time this season, of course. Is on the cards. Defo on the cards. Definitely on the cards for EVR. And they need to take this victory, I think, here tonight to bring themselves... So, it's looking interesting at the moment. See, Krez actually, we've got to talk about this guy. He's really setting fast lap times. He's currently going about 0.4 faster than the leader, so he's clearly got some pace in that Alpine. Oh! Massive moment further back. That's Frozen dropping through the order. He's had a massive moment in the wall. I think that was with somebody. I think that was with Nilo he went into the wall with. I do believe. I think that was Nilo. And down to P16, and for SCT, this round is just, this race is just turning to chaos. Brad, 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. First penalty of the evening. Only 5 laps in. I think it's interesting. It's very interesting to see. Oh, Vapor's out. Vapor has retired from the race, and that is AERT done and dusted for one driver here tonight. Disappointment. Gonna be quite disappointing for them. But you can see, VMV, by the way, have found themselves in a really lovely position. P7 and P8, on for 8 points here tonight. They've only got 7 points this season so far, so they're looking like they're on for a pretty nice evening with a lovely 8 points, which will actually put them just 1 point in front of AERT, which will climb them up 1 position over this battle, I think, of 6th in the Constructors, I do believe. I think it's 6th in the Constructors, or 7th, sorry. I think it's 7th, actually, in the Constructors that they're battling over. So at the moment, AERT versus VMV is looking a bit toasty. But I must say, for VMV here, they're kind of stuck in a bit of a position where, realistically, they're not catching the guys in front. They're losing time to the guys in front. But at the same time, the guys behind are also keeping up. So if they make a mistake, they're definitely going to lose out. But we'll see. We'll see. Because Tatham is actually catching slightly up to the top 6. So we might have another team in the mix. Still, Cormac leads. Wet conditions always run the way of the race leader. And it is very much running the way of Cormac Hutton here tonight. This is, I think, the most laps led so far for the race start for EVR this season. I do believe it's the most laps led off of a race start. For them, 5 laps led, and that's about to become a 6th led in a row for EVR. See, everybody's setting the fastest lap. Balaz just set the fastest lap. Tathan now sets the fastest lap of the race. Christ, he's really all over the back of Batiste here. We could be seeing a move into turn 3. Are we going to see it? If he could get the entry right, can he send it? See, the Ferrari is definitely slower. Definitely slower, but who knows? Who knows? We'll have to see how this battle will evolve, because of course they're trying to hold, especially for Crazy now. Like, the problem that Chris has is that he's going to be having this problem now of that he's the only AERT driver in the race left, and so for him, if he makes a mistake and he crashes or he loses points or he DNFs, the problem is the whole team's now going to lose out on points. So for him, he's got to be careful. He's got to make sure that he brings home the points for the team. He's got to make sure that he brings home the points and he doesn't make any more mistakes. He doesn't make any mistakes or any more mistakes in this race, and he just keeps up and he makes some moves and gains some positions, but safely. That's the main thing. I am surprised, though, that the top 6 have all stayed within a second of each other out of the first 7 laps of this race. He's looking a little bit on edge. Here we go, down towards turn 1. Here comes Chris. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top here? A little bit close. Switch has just set the fastest lap of the race. The Switch showing some brilliant pace. And there goes Chris into P number 5. And that is a nice move. And up into the top 5 for the AERT driver. On for 10 points now. And going to hold on to 7th in the Constructors as well. After, with this, AERT will hold on to 7th in the Constructors. They actually got up to 17 points after tonight, with VMV on their way to go up to 15. So it's looking incredibly close over 7th in the Constructors. I mean, LR also looking like they're having a good day. So it looks like sort of very much, I've got to say, SET are at massive risk here. Frozen isn't particularly in this. I have to say, he's not particularly in this. But I'm seeing the same with Tyler here. He doesn't seem to be fully in it. And especially losing this many points, scoring 1 point, you know, okay, if EVR were just, you know, in P9 and the other driver was in the points, then be okay, you've lost 1 point. But it's not just losing 1 point, it's losing another 19. So, you know, losing 20 points in this race is huge in the championship, especially when you only have a 24-point lead. So the lead is going to reduce down to 20 points. Unless Smoked can find, I'd say, another 2 positions in this race, I don't see... I don't think we're... Unless he can find another 2 or 3, I think up to P6 probably in this race. That's the only way EVR will take the lead of the championship, I think. If I've done my maths correctly. It's the only way that they will take the lead of the championship out of round number 4. I am surprised though. I'm pleasantly surprised that SET have kind of led the championship all throughout. They're the first team, by the way. SET are the first team to lead the championship through all of the first 3 races of the season, the opening 3 races of the season. No team has done that, so they are the first to actually achieve that. But round 4 now for them is looking a little bit iffy. If Tyler doesn't stay inside of the top 10, he makes a mistake, then I think generally they might really be at risk at losing their championship lead. And even now, I'd say, here comes Tyler. I thought he was heading into the pits, but he's obviously not feeling it. Chris, by the way, down the inside on Balazs. He's trying to make his way past the SKG driver. He's really making moves in the grid. He knows. AERT really need this victory here tonight. Really push them up in the constructor standings. Tathan's also almost within a second now. He's getting very, very close to the rest of these guys. It's proving to be an interesting one tonight. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that it is proving to be a very interesting evening here. In assists, very close. I have to say it's incredibly close. I did not think, and there we go. Tathan up into the 1 second gap. That's now 7 different drivers in the fight for the victory, or 6 different teams, by the way, which just perfectly proves my point of that this championship is incredibly close at the moment. Just so incredibly close. It is unbelievable at the moment. It is just it's just crazy to think that it is this close as it stands in the championship. I don't think anybody would expect it to be this close. I think we've just seen Switch just set another fastest lap of the race. But I've got to say it's interesting to see how Cormac is actually sort of controlling this race. He's now led a full 10 laps, by the way, without issue. Yanni Casares, by the way, finally trying to get past LK for P2. They're having a bit of a scrap, bit of contact there. Still, LK still in there, still battling. Has Yanni gotten the move? Yes, he has. Balazs as well, trying to get the move as well. But LK is not allowing it. Not today. He's not going to let both SKG drivers past. Or is he? Can he hold on to it? Has he got the ERS? He's run out of ERS too late. Everybody's overtaking him now. It's getting very tasty here because Zenliti is almost within a second. And that also means Smoked might also catch up to this, making it 9 drivers all in this same battle. LK's lost a lot of time. Yanni has, Balazs has. A lot of drivers losing a lot of time here tonight. It's getting a little bit toasty. Here comes Chris. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. He's been looking for a move on somebody. LK has shown one little bit of weakness. And there goes the AERT driver on the inside. But look at this. Batiste as well. Contact though into turn 3. LK on the inside. Batiste on the outside. It doesn't work out, and actually almost under risk from Tathan there as well. But look at this now, down to P9, are all within a second of each other. Here comes Batiste again, down the inside of LK, but the gap's broken. 1.2 seconds back from Chris to LK. The gap has now grown bigger. Maybe, just maybe, this is where the train ends and it becomes a four-way fight for the win between three different teams. Maybe we'll see. LK looks like he has stabilized once again in tonight's race. It looks like he has stabilized quite nicely and he's back up to pace. And he's pushing to close up to the top 4 once again. And there goes somebody into the pits. That switch. Interesting. He's only done 12 laps on those intermediate tyres and he feels like a fresh set is needed. PR clearly showing that maybe their tyre wear is not looking good at all. Frozen is also in the pits, by the way. Frozen's also in the pits in this race. He's also in the pits. That's not good for Frozen, though. Last, P19. He's had 2 wins in 3 races, and now it's falling apart. Slowly falling apart for SET. Their championship now under threat. Yannick Casares as well, by the way, took the lead of the race. SKG now lead away here in the Netherlands. Last week they did it as well. They didn't get the win. They didn't even get close. But I've got to say, I think SKG have a bit of... They've had a lot of trouble this season with getting up to pace and really getting in there with other teams. EVR's been a massive problem. Same with SET. Here comes Balaz, though. Here he comes for P2. Down the inside he goes. He's looking to make a move. He's unable to. But he's got a massive threat from behind, though. This is the one thing he's got to be careful here, because Chris is all over the back of him for P3 in this race. And one mistake, one move that doesn't work out is a mistake that's going to lose him a lot of time and cause a lot of problems. So, definitely got to watch out. Cormac Hutton, though, 1.3 seconds now away from the race leader. He's losing a lot of time. Looks like his intermediates have definitely gone off now. So it looks like maybe about lap 12 to lap 14 is roughly the time where the tyres start to die off in this race. We saw this last race. This was actually what SKG was slightly hurt by. This is what actually quite hurt SKG in more dry conditions, was tyre wear. In the dry conditions was what kind of hurt them. And in sort of changing conditions as well was kind of hurting them. And we've seen it a few times this season. SKG have struggled from tyre wear. We've also seen EVR in round 1 had their struggles with tyre wear. We know EVR in round 1 had a few struggles with tyre wear as well. But Cormac Hutton down towards turn 1. He's still holding on to P2. Yannick Casares just at the fast lap of the race. Tyler is now in. And so that's the SET duo back in. Heading round. Almost a 2-second lead now, by the way. That is 2 seconds in the lead for Yannick Casares. Interesting to see such incredible pace coming from the SKG driver. But is it purely just last minute pushing? Is it that he knows he's going to be stopping soon, so he's getting a lot of pushing out the way? Maybe. Maybe he is. I don't know. Because his pace seems to be very, very fast. Unbelievably fast. See, all the way down to P9, by the way, in this race. All within a second. From second to P9. all close up and bunched together in this race. As LK has made that connection and caught up once again here tonight. And that is Nilo who's come into the pits. UFRT's evening. I don't know what to really say about UFRT this race. It's just been so incredibly quiet for them. They're in this kind of performance gap where they're not in the points, but they're not fully out of them. And it's really hurting them. And Nilo is going to come out in front of Frozen anyway, so he slots in the middle. Frozen not really gaining out of that, up to P17, so he's gaining 2 places after the pit stops. But that's not really anything, to be honest, for Frozen. Gaining 2 places after pit stops, it's not working out for him. I don't think he's going to be gaining a lot of places in this race. And he's going to have to stop again as well, because if we look at the tyre wear, he's already 3 laps in onto those intermediates. He's going to have to change to a new set of tyres towards the end of the race, so I don't think he's going to be doing too well on that. I've got to say though, Zenlissi up 11, same with Tathan up 9, Yanni up 4, same for Mub and for LaFloa. Pretty good. But Zenlissi and Mub into the pits they go. Interesting to come in for a pit stop now. I think it's getting towards more of the midway point, so it makes more sense to come into the pits. Now in the lead. Balaz also went up to P2 there. Didn't notice that at first, but 3.2 seconds in the lead. Looking interesting. It's looking very interesting out there at the moment. Everybody's pretty close. As you can see, somebody's come into the pits. That is Balaz who's come into the pits. Batiste and Tatham following. Still, Cormac staying out for longer. And look at this. Down the inside. Chris. Oh, getting a little bit close there. Oh my god. Here comes LK. Down the inside. Where is it? Oh my god. Why did it go everywhere? And that's LK in P4. Still holding on. Almost getting past. Game went a little bit funny. Started choosing any position other than one I wanted to see. But LK really pushing for that for those podium places here tonight. Yanni is in. He feels like it's time to come into the pits. Still, Cormac and Chris stay out. On to lap 19, going for another lap. Same as Smoked. He's also staying out for longer. Is Bran coming in? Bran isn't coming in. He hasn't stopped yet. LaFloa hasn't. Switch has. I think Switch is the highest driver who has stopped. Yes, he is. Sorry, Yanni is. Yanni is now, but realistically, Switch up to P7. So, undercut's actually working very well. The undercut is actually working incredibly well. Because Frozen's also been able to catch up to this group. And he's down in P15, but he's able to catch back up. So now the top 3 yet to stop. Look at this. Battle over P4 in this race. Bran is not letting Yanni have any of it here tonight. He is working to get his teammate closer, actually. This is surprising. We've got teammate work going on. And around the outside, Yanni trying to do it, but he can't. He just can't. Yanni is stuck in a terrible moment where he is unable to get past the man of Bran. He is just completely unable at the moment to get past. And this is really, really bad for him because he's losing huge amounts of time. Switch is now catching up. Balaz is catching up. LaFloa, everybody's catching up. Cormac and Chris into the pits. And worst thing is they're stopping now. Down the inside goes Yanni. Can he hold on to it? Can he make the move past? No! Cormac, by the way, down to P9. The overcut hasn't worked. Switch, by the way, getting past his teammate with a bit of ease. Look at this. Balaz. Oh my god! Squeezing all the way up to the grass. And very, very aggressive there. From Bran. Look at this. Bran's just really slowing him down. Is Bran doing this on... Whoa! Bran is getting really dangerous. This is Sergio Perez 2021 Abu Dhabi level of things going on here. Oh my god. This is absolute chaos. Oh my god, they are dragging each other off. Everybody's going everywhere. Tatham, by the way, also trying to get past around the outside. Tatham has the balls to do it. Can he keep on going with it? Yes, he can. Can he get the drive? I don't know. He backs out. Looked like he could have gotten the drive out of there. Smoked is into the pits now. But that has not worked at all. SCT climbing up the order. The undercut just has not worked for Cormac. And look at this. Look at the complete chaos into turn one. Bran is absolutely causing chaos. He really doesn't want SKG to get past. He really doesn't want SKG to get past at all. Cormac getting attacked by Nilo there. Cormac, I think, is having to give up the position almost. He almost loses it on the exit, but Cormac, terrible, terrible timing. His pit stop hasn't worked. Chris as well, up to P9 now. It's getting a little bit closer. And look at this, Chris! With the move, past Cormac. He's trying to get it. He's trying to make it work. Still fighting. Look at this! Bran! This man is causing chaos! He's causing pure and utter chaos in the mid-pack. Look at everybody. Almost the entire grid here. Oh, we're getting pushed! Getting pushed! Through into the right-hander. Oh my god. Bran is becoming the bringer of chaos here in Zandvoort. I have nothing to say about this. The level of defending this guy is showing is mental. The fact he's showing so much control while defending is just... I just do not get how he's showing so much defensive skill with old tyres. Balaz has now been let go. Oh my god. Bran. Oh, I've got to say, he's on way old tyres. It's just really confusing. And there goes Tathan with ease. Tathan just gets past. He makes the move. Tyler's next. Then it's Chris. Then it's Cormac. Then Nilo. Here comes Tyler. Tyler just knows that he can. Whoa! And a massive moment for Tyler there. Loses himself a position as well. I've got to say, Bran is getting a little bit... Oh my god! Into the wall! Into the wall goes Bran and Chris. Whoa. I think there's going to be a lot of debate and a lot of very angry personalities having a go at each other over who was in the wrong there. And I've got to say, Bran, I think he's just been a bit too aggressive there. He's been way too aggressive with the defense. I was going to say it before, but he's been just so incredibly aggressive on the defense there. It's just shocking. That is just shocking, I've got to say. That is just shocking. Frozen battling over P11 here. Sorry, for P10, I should really say. But Frozen still stuck outside of the top 10 as much as he's been for most of this race. I've got to say, this just has not been Frozen's race at all. He'd rather have one less one on his number and be number 1 in this race. But he's nowhere close. He's not even going to score points as it stands. I've got to say, we've got to definitely... Shocking defense, but the gaps are so large in front. Yanni leads by almost 4 seconds. Switch ahead of Batiste by about 1.2. Batiste is actually catching quite a bit. Is it going to be a back-to-back podium for AZR? Maybe we'll see. We'll see how that's going to go. Tathan as well, Tyler, then it's Cormac, then Nilo, then Zenliti, and then LK. LK definitely losing out a lot in this race. From on for 16 points now on for 1. So, it's not gone his way at all. Very, very interesting. Interesting few minutes of action we've had here. 12 laps to go in this race. 12 more laps of this race to go. Yanni leads by almost 5 seconds. 5 seconds now he leads in this race. Batiste closing up though to P number 2 in this race. PR. Both teams on their way for back-to-back podiums for the first time this season, by the way. For the first time this season, a team other than EVR, SKG, so I think just other than EVR, SET, are on for back-to-back podiums. I think this will be the first time, which is absolutely crazy to see that we've got 2 more teams to add to having multiple podiums. But look at this. Switch having to go into the pits anyway. So after all of that Brand did for defending position, it's proven to be nothing because he's had to stop for a second time. I'm really sad for Chris there because he's just lost everything because I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know what to say, to be honest. SET on their way for another 12 points. This race be their worst points haul of the season, but another 12 points nonetheless. Unless Cormac Hutton can take P5 and take that down to 9 points this race. At least meaning that EVR will gain just 1 point. Sorry, they'll gain 2 points on SET this race. 2 points. Which is nothing compared to the 20 points they were on to get. But there's definitely going to be a lot of conversation about what happened with Bran. Definitely a lot, but it's getting very spicy though over this P5. Tyler, of course, really needs to hold on to this position because this is very much pretty much all of SET's points this race. The thing is, Cormac looks quick. LK looks quick as well. Who knows? Maybe he'll drop through the order. I do not know. We'll see, but here comes Cormac. Down towards turn 1. Is he going to go for it? Outside move he goes for. He's got a wing there. He's just about there, but he's just unable to get that grip around the outside. Mub having a fight with Frozen over P9 in this race. ABE. By the way, ABE still the only team yet to score a point this season. And Mub is on his way to try and get that 1 point and to get their first point into the 4th race. It's taken them... They've gone pointless in the first 3 races, and they're on their way for possibly 1 or even 2 points this race. I think that will mean a lot to ABE. I think that's really going to mean a huge amount to ABE here tonight. I think it is. I think it really is going to mean a huge amount to these guys because of how they haven't had a great season. Down the inside, he goes. Oh, Mub! Oh, Mub. Oh, man. Oh, unlucky there. Frozen getting tagged as Zenlity gets past. Frozen's really struggling on his worn tyres, and around the outside goes Smoked. And that is Frozen down to P11 in this race. Down to P11. There goes LK down the inside. He's trying to get Nilo, and he gets Nilo for P7 in the end. But Frozen outside of the top 10 and back down to 11th. That's another 2 points lost, and that's 10 points for them tonight. It's just 10 points for SET. Cormac still hunting to gain those extra 3 points and to get 3 points closer to SET in the standings. Of course, the big team tonight is going to be SKG, who are actually closing in by, they're scoring 18 and then another 13. So, I mean, 31 points. Biggest points haul of the season, I think, for any team. 31 points. This race, as it stands. I've got to say, that is incredible. 31 points versus 10. 21 points lost in the championship. The gap's almost 30 points, so I think it's 65, so I think they're on 35. So there is a 30-point gap, so at the moment, on their way to gain 21 points close and bring the gap down to 9 points in the lead of the championship out of round 4, which is going to make it very interesting. I've got to say it's quite strange. But let's look at the tyres. Very mixed for age. Frozen is on the oldest set of tyres, and then it's his teammate Tyler who's on the next oldest. Kimmy as well, and Nilo also on 12 and 13 laps each. So they're quite old for quite a few drivers at the moment. Youngest is Switch on 3 laps, same as Bran. 5 laps for Chris, so who knows? Who knows? Who knows in this race? It might go any sort of way. But great race for Tatham. We've got to talk about Tatham here. Up 12 places. 12 places in this race. Started P16, now P4, on for 11 points in this race. Looking very, very interesting. I've got to say, looking very interesting here tonight. Switch gets past D-Mub for P12. Next is going to be Frozen, and there should be an easy move for Switch to make. It should be an incredibly easy move to get past Frozen. P11. At the moment, though, you can see Balaz starting to catch up to Batiste. He's catching up quite a bit. Is it going to be an SKG 1-2? Do we think it's possible? Do I think it's possible? Maybe. But look at this. Zenlity and Smoked having a bit of a battle. It's an extra point gained for EVR with that move. I mean, 1 extra point for EVR is for them is going to be something good. So we'll have to see. I think it's a tough one at the moment. I don't know where everybody's going to be. D-Mub went back into the pits again. ABE again without points. 4 races. 4 races now, on their way for the 4th race without points. Longest waiting time for points for them, even just 1. Only team without a point yet this season. Even last season, all 10 teams had scored points by this point last season, by the way. All 10 teams had scored points out of the first 2 races, I believe. So, of course, you know, ABE feeling a bit alone, I'd say. They just don't. They seem to get close or get into opportunities, and they either get unlucky or just something happens. They make a mistake or something, and they just lose out their chance at points, and it's kind of showing here again tonight. And there goes Cormac getting past Tyler. Tyler struggling. Oh, huge amount of contact there, but Cormac up into P5, and a good move into P5, and that is very much. And I've got to say, oh! And that's Cormac into the wall, down to P8. We might be seeing some conversation about Tyler getting a little bit too aggressive and a little bit too angry. Definitely Feeling like it's getting a little bit too angry there from Tyler. Somebody's gone off. That's Kimmy that's gone off. Has he got a puncture? Has he got a puncture? No, he hasn't. He hasn't got a puncture. He's just had a moment there. Strange. Very strange to see. I think after today, talking point is definitely going to be Bran and Tyler. And I think another talking point is definitely going to be, again, driving standards. I sent out an announcement before tonight's race saying about driving standards. And again, they haven't seemed to have been listened to at all. As Nilo now comes in, so a gained position for Cormac and his teammates. It's now up to 8 points this race. I don't know what to say about it, really. This race. I think a lot of talk is going to happen after tonight. I don't think SET and EVR are going to be the best of friends after tonight's race. You could just see I don't know whether it's just me or I just feel like Tyler's not giving room. He's just not giving appropriate space. There looked like there was contact between Cormac and Tyler. You see, look at that. It's really strange. Don't know whether that's, again, moving under braking. I don't know, but Cormac's been able to catch back up. Switch, by the way, making the move for P9 in this race. Zenlitty, though, not allowing it. Zenlitty goes very deep and into the gravel. Big driver error there. Very big driver error. But let's see. I think because of his tyre wear, I think we're going to be seeing possibly 2 drivers get past Tyler here. And for SET, it's just going to be disaster for them here in the Netherlands. Around the outside. Oh, again, I've got to say, personally, I'd give Tyler a bit of a warning for the space that he's leaving. Because he's not leaving room. Cormac is there still, trying to make moves. Oh, and getting a little bit stuck together there. It's Cormac and LK. LK now drops down to P7. Cormac, I think, not in a very happy mood about what has happened. Frozen has come back into the pits as well, so it's definitely going to be just one SCT driver taking points. But at the moment, that means if Cormac, LK, and Smoked all get past for position, look at this. Cormac is not in a good mood, I think, at all. He's in a very bad mood, I'd say. With Tyler, of course. So let's see what's going to happen down into the next turn 1 between Tyler and Cormac. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen. Because now, Tyler has 4 drivers behind him. He could drop down to P9 here if he spins. If he has a moment or has to come in again, he could see himself down to P9 in this race very quickly. Down towards turn 1. Whoa! My God! Oh my God, what is going on? Severe collision with Tyler. Oh my God. It is all happening. Everybody is going absolutely mental. What is happening here? With these guys, Tyler down to P7 in this race. He's lost out 2 places to LK and Switch. But I think EVR now have a bit of a problem with Tyler. I don't know whether that was me, but I do feel like Tyler double moved. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the reports and the onboards. But from my perspective, it looked like there was a bit of extreme diving and Tyler also maybe with a bit of a double move. Brown gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I think we're going to be seeing his day is done. Oh, what's going to happen into the next corner? And around the outside, Cormac is trying to get the move. He's going to try and get the move made. And he does not care. He is going for it. Whoa! Oh! And that is a tyre blown for Tyler! And I don't think it's even going to matter with penalties. Because for him, it's done. The race is done. Oh my god. What is this race? What is this race? 3 laps to go and Yanni leads. Balaz, by the way, in second place. 1-2 finish for SKG. They're not taking the Grand Slam. They haven't... I don't think they have fastest lap. If I'm correct, they don't have fastest lap. No, they don't. And they don't have pole. So they will take an incredible 34 points from this evening. They will take an incredible 34 points tonight. But that is all they'll be taking. They'll be almost doubling their championship, by the way. And no points for SCT mean, I can confirm, with no points for SCT, means that SKG, I think, lead the Constructors' Championship out of this race. I don't know. Not 100% yet, but tonight's proving to be a little bit insane. I don't know what to... If I was to sum up this race in 3 words, I can't. I couldn't sum up this race in 3 words. It's impossible. Nilo, by the way, up to P10. Scoring that point for UFRT. But, you know, I've got to say there's one person that I'm really rooting to stay in P9. And that's Wapo. I need this man to stay in P9. Because ABE are on their way for their first points of the season. And he'll go up to P8 after Cormac's penalty. So he is going to still take some sort of level of points here tonight. Frozen. Going slowly. I think he's setting up to take fastest lap in this race. Oh, is he... Has he had a tyre blowout? No, he's out in the wet conditions on softs. On softs? Okay. Interesting. Smoked and Wapo having a bit of a battle. Oh, more contact. Even more contact there. Smoked holding on to P8 for now. His teammate with the penalty, of course. This is the only thing for Smoked here. The rain has stopped. And the track is getting drier. But we're on to the final lap. And a race of pretty much dominance. Almost dominance. Not entirely, but a decent amount of dominance from Yanni Casares. Tyler now gets past his teammates. I think we just saw D-Mub go for P11 past Zenliti. But we've got to talk about Yanni. The way this guy has driven. Nilo, by the way, makes his way up into P9 in this race. Ahead of Wapo, who should be okay to finish in P10. But I've got to say, Yanni, what an incredible drive. I've got nothing to say. It's unbelievable. His drive has been amazing. Up 4 places this race from 5th place on the grid. SKG have really brought it together tonight. And a 1-2 finish on their way as well. No words for that. No words. Nilo, by the way, gets up into P8. Cormac down to P9. I think he knows with this penalty it's not going to help us. Yanni has won in the Netherlands for round number 4 of season number 5 of assists. And an incredible finish. Balaz in second. Batiste finishes on the podium and gets a second podium back-to-back races with podiums for AZR. Tathan in 4th, switches in 5th, just missing out on 4th place. LK finishes 6th, Smoked in 7th, Nilo 8th, Cormac will come in 9th, Wapo in 9th now, and it's a double points finish for ABE. 9th and 10th. 9th and 10th. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. I cannot believe. Double points for ABE. Incredible. Fast lap taken by Chris in the end in 15th. He gets the last laugh to the night. Gets the last laugh and the last push. But it's going to be Tyler to finish off this race. SET, no points. And a tough evening nonetheless. So let's go through the order. Yanni and Balaz get a 1-2 finish for SKG. Then it is Batiste in third. Then Tathan in fourth, with Switch in fifth, LK in sixth, Smoked in seventh, Nilo in eighth, Wapo in ninth, and D-Mub in 10th. Double points for ABE. Then Litty in 11th, Cormac in 12th, LaFloa in 13th, Hugo in 14th, 15th Chris, then Tyler in 16th, Frozen in 17th, Brown in 18th, Kimmy in 19th, and our only retirement being Vapor in last place. And that is that for tonight, guys. What an end to the race. Absolute carnage, that race. Nothing other than carnage. That's all I have to say, is just pure carnage tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, though. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, click on that notification bell to know about all the content we're going to be doing, from short streams and videos. Also, make sure to join the Discord server. The link is down below. Also, make sure to come and join us again on Friday for no assists and fours on Sunday. Let's have last look at the calendar. We've now gone through Monza, Mexico, Brazil, and the Netherlands. Next week, it is a break week. Then we return for a mystery race at the end of this month. There'll be Hungary to begin August, then Imola, Great Britain, then another mystery race, then a break week. Then we go to Japan, Belgium, Saudi Arabia, and Kota to end off the season. Ultimately, guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a great night and a great day and a great week. And I'll see you very soon. Goodbye. Look at this! Look at the battling, and it is a safety car! Here comes Mika into Stoke Corner. Whoa! Almost! And away we go here in the Netherlands for